The following is an exclusive presentation of WI Garden Media, celebrating 10 years of being the voice of Garden Talk Radio. Coming up on the program today, we're going to discuss starting your tomatoes off right, as well as what you need to know if you're starting canning for the first time this year. And we'll answer your garden questions. The hour's full, so join us.
You are listening to the most informationally packed hour of garden-focused radio in the country and on the internet with your host, husband and wife team Joey and Holly Baird. This is the Gardening with Joey and Holly radio show.
And welcome to another edition of the Gardening with Joey and Holly radio show. Happy to have you along. I am your host, Joey Baird. Beside me is my wife, co-host, best friend, and gardening partner,
Holly Baird.
This program is for you, about you, to help your garden grow better, to maintain your landscape, grow healthier trees, make your grass look greener, as well as preserving what you grow. Happy you're tuning in, whether you're listening to us on one of the 41 AM and FM frequencies broadcasting our program here in 2026 for season 10. Happy to have you along. Some of you are hearing us for the first time this year. Others have been with us for the past 9 weeks due to our show being syndicated. Happy to have everybody together. If you want to be, you can find our program if you're listening to us on our parent website, thewisconsinvegetablegardener.com, underneath the season 10 tab at the top of the page. Podcast replay or in-studio video replay. Thank you so much. You want to be part of the program, you can certainly do that by sending us an email, gardentalkradio@gmail.com. That's gardentalkradio@gmail.com. Or you can give us a call toll-free, coast to coast, at 1-800-927-SHOW. 1-800-927-SHOW. Before we get in the program, Holly, it's time for this week's Joke of the Week.
All right, so what is a snowman's favorite type of vegetable?
Wouldn't it be carrot, because he has a carrot for his nose?
That's cannibalistic.
Okay.
A snow pea.
A snow pea. Oh, because was it coal for the buttons, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
And for the eyes.
Oh, okay.
I think normally. Oh. Whatever you got, if you can find any grapes out in the snow, then you can use those too. Go. So this week's garden joke is brought to you by Rescue.com. American-made rescue products keep your family, home, and yard protected from pests such as wasps, hornets, yellow jackets, flies, ants, and more. Learn more at Rescue.com. That's RESCUE.com.
So many of us will be starting tomatoes in a few weeks, so we wanted to talk about that particular topic so we can get all on board on the same page. You want to start your tomatoes. Now, first of all, there's about 25,000 different varieties estimated of tomatoes in the world. Now, not all of them are commercially available, as some have been passed down through generations, and then that particular family has stopped gardening or have passed on, and those seeds have died in the hands of time. So there's thousands still available. However, you're not going to have enough time in your life to grow hundreds and thousands of them.
You know that somebody's going to listen to this and try to figure out how they can grow
one tomato,
the maximum amount of tomatoes.
I can grow 100 tomatoes in my garden
year.
this year. For the next 30 years.
30 years. Uh-huh. Yep. I hope that somebody does do that.
You want to start your tomatoes 6 to 8 weeks before your last average frost date. You can find your last average frost date by going to your favorite search engine and typing in last average frost date, insert your zip code here. Now, this is a guideline. That doesn't mean if your last average frost date is May 14th, that May 15th, you can go ahead and plant them. That's not how that works. This is a guideline. So you want to get them planted prior to it. 6 to 8 weeks is what we normally do. And you don't have to start your seeds at all. You can go to the garden center and buy them independent or a big commercial box store. It doesn't make a difference. However, the varieties are more readily available for the home gardener rather than the 8 or 12 that you may have at your garden center. So you can start these seeds in seed starting trays, in cups, in grow bags, whatever you want. However, whenever we do a planting of tomatoes in my Root Maker seed tray, we put 2 seeds in each cell. and then the strongest one survives. We wean off the one that's weaker. If you do this in a party cup where you combine 12 or 15 seeds of like variety, beefsteak or cherry, we don't label ours anymore. All the beefsteak gets grown in one, all the cherries grow in another, and then we plant them out in the garden. We don't label them anything like that. Once they're in a party cup and you've got 12 or 15 plants germinating, which takes about 10 days. Once they get about 3 or 4 inches tall, you can go ahead and remove them and then plant them in their individual cells in your seed tray. However you're doing individual party cups, you can go that route. Seed starting mix.
Yeah, so you can use anything from potting soil, potting mix, compost. You want to make sure that you have something that either has a slow release fertilizer in it, or you are adding some sort of liquid fertilizer, about a quarter strength of what you would normally add, about 4 weeks after you plant whatever you plant, especially if it's something that doesn't have any sort of fertilizer in it already, like those little peat pellets that a lot of people like, those little Jiffy peat pellets, or even compost. You just want to make sure that you are keeping those seedlings fed.
And you can do that quarter the strength. You can use that compost tea. You can use synthetic organic fertilizer, however you want to do it, but quarter of the strength of what the recommended rate is. If you do compost tea, you can just go ahead and water them as normal. Compost tea is not going to overbearing the seedlings. You want to plant these. Most of us are starting them in a climatized environment, such as a home or insulated garage, whatever that it is. And you won't need a heat mat. If you're in a questionable area where your temperatures are beyond the 64, 72, 74 degree range, you'll want a horticultural grade heat mat in order to put under these seeds for tomatoes, peppers, eggplants, to warm the soil until the seeds begin to germinate. Once they begin to germinate, then you can go ahead and turn that heat off. Turn the heat off and get them under a grow light. Now, not all grow lights are created equal, and you need to do your research to find that out. So, because cheap, it doesn't always mean good.
No, and you definitely want to think about determinate, indeterminate, and semi-determinate. So these are types of tomatoes that grow. So the indeterminate is something like what is known as the vine tomato. So these tomatoes will keep putting out fruit no matter how long they are growing until like frost hits or you destroy it, or that's
end
pretty
of season.
much end of season, whatever. Then there's determinate, which is more known as like the bush tomato. It's going to put on a large fruiting kind of all at once, and then that's it. And then semi-determinate is a combination of the both. It's going to put out a lot of tomatoes and then slowly put out more.
If whenever you transplant your seedlings, whenever that time is come for you, you want to plant them out when the soil temperature is 50 degrees at root zone consistently for the foreseeable future. Take your trowel, dig a little hole, take a meat thermometer and put it there and see if you're at 50 degrees. And then if you are between like 48, 49, 51, look at that 15-day long-range forecast. Is there anything that's going to fall below that 50-degree mark? We see this all the time, or we've seen this in the past where, on YouTube or, videos where people are planting their tomatoes weeks and weeks and even months before they should be. And then you get this cold snap and they've got low tunnels and they got plastic over it and they've got space heaters.
It's more work. It's like a whole mental gymnastics of keeping your tomatoes warm, and you can just keep it simple, which is what you want to do. Most people prefer, now if you want the challenge, by all means, go ahead.
Oh, don't. You've got other things than to go out there and baby at 3 a.m., making sure the ambient temperature under the cold frame is at least 50 degrees so these tomato plants don't freeze.
Right. So
now there are anomalies. We plant these at the right time and all of a sudden we get a snap of coldness or whatever. I get that, but plant them at the right time.
Right. Absolutely. So then, as Joe had mentioned, think about your grow lights, and Also, feed the plants as needed. We can talk about hardening off.
Hardening off at the appropriate time. You want to take your tomato plants for your particular area and harden them off, taking them outside and acclimate them from the ambient temperature from indoors to outdoors over the course of a week. This can be a challenge at times if you are working outside of the home, but what you're wanting to do is you take them outside and get them loose to the brightness of the sun because it's far brighter than the grow lights. Put them in partial in shade for a couple of hours, bring them back in, put them back outside for longer duration, and then gradually move them into full sun by the end of the week when those temperatures are adequate. So you can have these plants. Now, if you buy them from the garden center, omit this hardening off process. You don't have to worry about that at all.
This is only for when you start your own. Let's talk about some of our favorite tomato varieties. Yes. For me, I like the purpley tomatoes, like the black crim, the Cherokee purple. I definitely like those. I like any sort of cherry tomato all the time, anytime. And then I do like Roma tomatoes. Those are good. Any sort of paste tomatoes, whether it be Roma, Amish paste, those are typically good for making your pasta sauce variety type of foods. I like
the black crim. That's a good one. Cherokee purple is good. Giant white. I always think that's a really sweet one, as well as Snowball. That's a white variety of tomato there. So there's a lot of different things in which you can grow. Try to find what works best for you for your particular area. Hang out with us. When we return, we're going to be talking about what you need to know if you are a new canner. You're tuned into the Gardening with Joey and Holly radio show.
Got a question for Joey and Holly? Send it via email anytime to gardentalkradio@gmail.com.
Got milkweed? You already know it helps monarchs migrate, but did you know milkweed supports people too? If you've ever wished your body could bounce back faster, this is your sign. From backyard to bedside, people trust milkweed balm for soothing joints, tired muscles, and healthy, feel-good skin. Try it and feel the difference today. Find milkweed balm at milkweedbalm.com or on Amazon. Azure Standard is America's premier family-owned online store for organic foods and healthy products for your home and garden. They deliver directly to families and businesses through more than 3,500 drop points across all 50 states, making it easy to get everything you need in one simple pickup. As a natural health food distributor, Azure brings bulk and specialty items to communities nationwide. They offer more than 12,000 products that meet their clean ingredient standards, high quality, non-GMO, organic, and naturally sourced. You'll find everything from groceries, health and beauty items, and household essentials to nutritional supplements, animal care, hobby supplies, and even gardening products. Simply put, Azure Standard has something for just about every part of daily living. Visit azurestandard.com and use promo code JoeyandHolly15 at checkout to get 15% off your first order of $100 or more when you open a new account and ship to the drop location of your choice. Visit azurestandard.com. It's AZURE standard.com. Azure Standard is doing a giveaway for the month of March with the Gardening with Joey and Holly radio show. This giveaway will include $30 worth of Azure Husbandry organic garden seeds. It'll also include Azure brand Ellie's Eden liquid kelp, a 32-ounce bottle, Azure brand Ellie's Eden liquid fish fertilizer, a 32-ounce bottle as well. The total value of the giveaway is $50. You can find out more at azurestandard.com.
To sign up for the giveaway for the month of March, which the drawing will be April 6th, send an email to gardentalkradio@gmail.com. In the subject line, put "Enter Me," and in the body copy, we'll need your name and state. Please do this with an active account. If you are the winner and do not respond in 1 week, we will go to the next winner. This giveaway is open to those who live in the lower 48 contiguous United States.
Broma is home to the Squirrel Buster brand of truly squirrel-proof bird feeders. When a squirrel lands on the Squirrel Buster, its weight automatically closes the seed ports, denying access to the seed but not harming the squirrels. They have a beautiful line of bird feeder pole systems, a perfect addition to any vertical garden or flower tower garden. The poles can hold bird feeders, hanging planters, and even hummingbird feeders to create an easy, beautiful garden ecosystem in your yard. They design products that are simple to use, built to last a long time, and are backed by lifetime lifetime care to extend the life of their products. Visit Brome.com for more information. Working in your home office can be such a drag without the correct furniture. An adjustable and ergonomic chair and desk can make a huge difference. The C7 chair allows you to get proper sitting support that you need with adjustable armrests, headrests, and lumbar support for long sitting comfort. The C7 chair provides significant benefits like back pain relief. The C7 chair provides significant benefits like back pain relief, including adjustable lumbar support designed to meet the natural curve of your spine. It's a chair that has everything you need with customizable comfort features, 3D headrests, 5D armrests, a pull-up footrest, and recline functionality. A latex seat cushion paired with a breathable mesh back helps keep you cool and comfortable. With a 300-pound weight capacity, you can sit comfortably and stay supported while working in your home office. Enjoy a 30-day return policy for a risk-free trial and a 10-year warranty with direct replacement for damaged parts. If you have a limited budget, you can also check out their C5 chair, which is built with good quality and offers basic adjustment functions. To get your C7 chair, visit flexispot.com and use code C730 to get $30 off the C7 chair. David J. Frank, Southeastern Wisconsin's leading landscape company, is a landscaper you need. Their award-winning services include everything from lawn care, landscape maintenance, design, construction, renovation, irrigation, sustainability, and more. Big or small, let the experts at David J. Frank handle the hard work for you. Find out more at davidjfrank.com. Get in your garden with Diggs. From gardening gloves to accessories, storage, organization, and more, Diggs products combines form and function with a splash of fashion and are ideal for women who possess a passion for plants and enjoy harnessing the beauty of nature. Steeped in color and pattern, Diggs gloves are inspired by nature and are designed to protect your most valuable assets, your hands. Get your Diggs on at diggsgardening.com, the Home Depot, Amazon, and search for it by name, D-I-G-Z, diggsgardening.com.
Welcome back to the Gardening with Joy and Holly radio show. Happy to have you along. If you missed any, want to know more about those coupon code availability, you can go to our parent website, the WisconsinVegetableGardener.com, and click on the Money tab and the Season 10 tab for past shows and all sponsors listings. We're going to talk about how on what you need to know if you want to get into canning this year. We make the mistake so you don't have to.
Yeah, so you want to keep in mind to be safe with your canning, and this is very important. Canning is a science. You are taking a perishable food and making it non-perishable, which means you're taking something that can rot and spoil and making it shelf stable. So keep that in mind as you do your canning. You want to look for resources, etc., so that you know that they are safe, you know that they are good recipes, and they have your best safety and interest in mind. So if you go to look at books, recipes, you want to make sure they're from within the past 15 years. This shouldn't be an issue for most like websites, unless it's called like vintage canning recipes or something like that. But for books, like the library is a great resource for a lot of books, but they don't toss the books after 15 years.
They keep them until they fall apart, yeah. Regardless if the information is correct or not.
Like I recently got into knitting, and I found a book from like the 80s. So, they're not tossing these books, which is good. I mean, some of the stuff doesn't change.
Well, if you want to collect vintage canning books, there's plenty of second place or second-hand places online in order to purchase them, and you can build a little collection. But don't use them.
So the reason why we want to look within the past 15 years is because crops have changed. Food has changed. Food science has changed. Safety has changed. Like, for example, Joey grew up canning, and they would water bath their green beans, and now that's no longer...
You got to pressure can them.
You want to pressure can them.
Yeah, we'd water bath them for 3 hours.
Yeah, that's quite some time. Yeah. So you want to keep that in mind. Learn that, just keep in mind it's a science, etc. So then you want to start with something... simple. A lot of times people think, I'm just going to make jam. That's going to be simple, and that's not necessarily true. Not that jam is super hard. It's just that at times it doesn't set up. You kind of have to learn the process. There's a lot
with jam compared to, like, I would say pickles. There's like twice as many moving parts in the jam process than there is the pickle making process.
Right. And it's a matter of... or even just salsa, something kind of less moving parts, as Joey had said. And also, those are pretty foolproof, and you don't have to worry about them setting up.
Well, and if you want to get into canning, church group or whatever organization you're with, male or female, it doesn't matter. There's somebody that knows somebody that would love to have some help in the kitchen, cutting, processing, getting jars in, so you can learn firsthand how to go about doing this rather than simply watching a video online from a reputable source. Your hands are in the pickles, your hands are in the salsa. The individual is saying, okay, this is what we've got to do in order to do it safe. This is how you're seeing it firsthand.
Right, exactly. Yeah. So you want to also, Joy had mentioned, talking to people. You can do that and look for jars that way as well. And you might think to yourself, I don't know anybody who has any canning jars, but I swear these people come out of the woodwork. As soon as you start talking about canning, all of a sudden they have jars. They have this and that and all these
Betty, I heard you brought some jam in. My aunt passed away. We got like 50 or 80 jars in the garage. We really didn't want to get rid of them. Do you want them?
Right, and that's exactly what happens. So keep that in mind. You can find these jars, or you can look at rummage sales, yard sales, etc.
You're going to get a better deal if you buy everything, the whole allotment.
Right, and you may end up with some random jars, and that's okay.
But otherwise, you're going to buy the jar for $0.25 a piece. I'm picking a number. But if you buy all of them together and you figure out and when you get home, you figure, I bought them all for like 8 cents a jar.
Right.
And you can toss the ones that don't work or put dry goods in the other ones.
Exactly. So then you also want to, as you're doing this process, make sure you keep everything clean. If you have a pet like a cat who could possibly jump on the counter or the table, you want to make sure that you are keeping them out of the kitchen. I know my cat, he typically doesn't jump on the counter or the table, but I feel like as soon as I start a project in the kitchen, he's like, what's going on?
Or if you have little ones that that can get underfoot and trip you when you're moving very hot items or breakable things, that's something that needs to be addressed as well.
Right. A lot of people don't think about these things. And when you're doing like pickles or canning anything, you kind of want to move quickly, especially pickles, because those cucumbers, if you let them sit or cook at too high of a temperature for too long, the longer you do, the mushier they can get. So while pickles are easy to can, you just want to make sure you're not dilly-dallying around while you're doing the process.
Most people will, typically you see or you think of pickles being in quart jars, but if you can get away with putting them in pint jars, yes, it's half the batch, half the quantity, but the quality of them does increase substantially because it's less time in the heat, and you can get more of a like a store-bought crisp pickle at home if you move quickly and keep that from getting too hot. But doing it for the direction of time, and don't do in half-gallon jars. We don't do that anymore. It's not safe. No. National Home for Food Preservation. Yeah. That apple juice and I think grape juice are the only two safe things in which you can preserve in a half-gallon jar. Use them for dry goods.
So some of my favorite resources, as Joey had mentioned, was the National Center for Home Food Preservation. They have a lot of great basics, like say you have 45 pounds of tomatoes and you want to know how much it's going to make into X, they can help you with that. On the National Center for Home Food Preservation, we learned how to can venison with their site. So,
yeah, that's a pressure canning process.
Right, yeah.
Not all vegetables and stuff that comes out of your garden you're going to water bath.
Right. So you want to make sure you are using good resources. And then Better Homes and Gardens, they have a good book called You Can, and it's pretty comprehensive, has some good recipes. The Ball Blue Book is what it's called, put out by Ball Canning. They put out a new edition every couple of years. They have good information on even just how to can.
And you would think, I got one 2 years ago. There are new recipes and new variations of recipes every book. It's not just a copy of, we're just going to put it out to put it out.
And, you might think, okay, I got the new edition. I know somebody who could benefit from the old edition. You can pass it along. You don't necessarily have to hold on to it.
If there's anything left of that old edition, if you haven't loved it so much that the pages are falling out of it like some of ours are.
Right. And then you can look for classes. I did take some canning classes through my local rec department. This may not be an option for you, but you can definitely keep an eye out for it. I know I have a friend who teaches like kombucha making classes, which is not canning, but you can find a lot of resources when you look around.
Now, with those classes, those are taught by master canners, which are much more regulated in states than master gardeners due to the information and the safetiness of that information that is being taught to individuals.
Absolutely. And I took a lot of canning classes. I even learned how to make mustard, which is really easy to make. Making mustard, I think it seems more complicated than it is, but it's very simple to make, and you make a lot of different varieties of mustard, and it's kind of fun.
So when it comes to canning, lids, jars, you want to make sure there's no cracks in the jars. You want to use modern day jars, not the antique blue ones that were made from 1896 to 1932. A jar, and make sure it is a canning jar. You get these mixtures of glass jars.
Yeah, you got to make sure it's a real mason jar.
Yeah. And you can tell by the thickness of an old mayonnaise jar from the 80s versus a canning jar.
Right. And, you want to make sure you have, I bought this new, but it was like a canning kit, which comes with the funnel, the headspace measurer, the jar lifter, and the little thing that can lift the lids. It's a little magnet wand type situation. Sometimes you can find those at yard sales, thrift stores, whatever. If
you go to a yard sale, go ahead and have 2 or 3 or 4 of them. It's because you're going to lose one. And if you have 2 or 3, and another thing with your canning, you want like lots of towels. You want what do you call them? Dish towels. And rags and extra spatulas and extra spoons and things. So whenever you're in this process, you don't have to. You have a backup. You're ready to grab a different one. It's clean. It's sanitary. Because the time, it's not I'll get it done when I get it. It's a time sensitive situation.
Right. And one thing to keep in mind is that. Or for me, I know myself, like I enjoy being in the kitchen, whether it be cooking, baking. I don't bake as much as I used to. So canning, even though I didn't grow up doing it, became a kind of a natural extension of what I enjoyed doing when it came to being in the kitchen.
And you were not a canner. You did not grow up in a world of canning.
No.
You're a city girl.
Yeah, I grew up in the city. And when Joy and I met and probably about 15 years ago now, even though we had both gardened separately, we grew our first like big garden together, and we had a lot of tomatoes, cucumbers, I think peppers, onions, just a lot of stuff. And Joy was like, we're going to can this. And I was like, okay, you have fun with that. And he was like, no, you're going to help me. So, we kind of, I don't want to say we learned together because Joy had some canning experience.
Growing up on the farm, that's all we did. Yeah.
Right. But I learned, and then I got really into it, and I really did enjoy it. I thought, in my words, I thought that was for country people.
Man, you are a multi-award winning Wisconsin State canner. That's where the show originates, out of southeast Wisconsin. And you've placed several ribbons in the state fair.
Yes.
So when it comes to canning, it's called, you want cleanliness and safety, but also you want to keep keep the dirt outside, and we have a product just for you.
Yeah, absolutely. Scrusher at scrusher.com has this really nice boot and shoe cleaner. It's the original multi-use, long-lasting boot scrubber. So it's a shoe brush station that is built with weather-resistant steel frame and black UV powder coated finish for year-round outdoor use. Easy to use. You just take your boots or your shoe or whatever you have on your foot, and with just a few passes through the boot brushes, removes dirt, mud, and slush from any type of shoe. It's user-friendly. You can use it all over barns, sheds, your home, etc. And you can go to scrusher.com and use code NOMOREDIRT5 to get 5% off and free shipping.
Hang out with us. When we return, it's going to be your garden questions and our garden answers. You're tuned in to the Gardening with Joy and Holly radio show.
Have a garden question? Give Joey and Holly a call now or anytime 24/7. Just dial 1-800-927-SHOW. If you can't get through, leave a message and they will call you back. Call now, 1-800-927-SHOW.
Stop poisoning your soil. Green Grow is different from most garden brands because we do not rely on chemical shortcuts. We use beneficial biology and organic inputs to rebuild soil naturally, so your garden gets healthier every year, not dependent on more products. Stronger plants, fewer problems, better food. Check out our complete line of organic fertilizers and potting soils today. Visit thegreengrow.com and breathe life into your soil. That's TheGreenGro.com. Check us out on Instagram as well at The Green Grow. Say goodbye to weeds. Easily remove them, roots and all, with the unique design of the Cobra-Head Hand Cultivator, recognized as the world's leading hand weeding tool. Simple design, lightweight, made from forged tempered steel for easy extraction of weeds, plant seeds, rows, and more. Visit CobraHead.com and use coupon code SOIL for 10% off your order at CobraHead.com. Coupon code valid 1 per customer.
Make watering easy. DripWorks provides quality drip irrigation supplies and equipment to gardeners just like you for all your growing needs across the U.S. and Canada. Purchase online at dripworks.com.
Get higher yields with durable green bed raised garden bed kits designed to be drainable, breathable, pest resistant, and long-lasting. DurableGreenBed.com. Abundance guaranteed. Jung Seed Company is a family-owned and operated gardening company since 1907 with the largest selection of seeds and plants online. Use coupon code 15TG26 to save 15% off your order at jungseed.com. That's JUNGSEED.com.
Pomona's Universal Pectin is a high-quality pectin that gels reliably with low amounts of any sweetener. If you're trying to reduce the amount of sugar in your diet, you'll love Pomona's Universal Pectin. Now you can make healthy homemade jams and jellies sweetened to your taste. You can use sugar or honey to sweeten. Pomona's Universal Pectin keeps indefinitely when stored in an airtight container. Easy to use, versatile, and comes with directions and recipes in every box. Find out more and where to buy at PomonaPectin.com. Also available at natural food stores and online.
Save your back. Easily and quickly remove trees and shrubs from your property with the Weed Wrench. Find it at weed-wrench.com. Made in the USA. Use coupon code JOEY to save $10 off your Weed Wrench at weed-wrench.com.
Wind River Chimes will always be the inspiring harmony. With a large selection and customization options, you will find the sound that soothes you. Visit windriverchimes.com to shop and find out more.
Soil Diva Liquid Microbe Stimulant Spray improves the health of your plants you work hard to grow, stimulates the natural enzymes, and increases beneficial soil bacteria. Go to soildiva.net. Use coupon code radio15 to get 15% off your order at soildiva.net. Mantis Garden Tiller cultivators are the perfect solution for any garden. With their gas-powered 2-cycle or 4-cycle engine, these powerful machines can till 9 or 16 inches of land without you breaking a sweat. And it doesn't stop there. Mantis's optional attachments allow you to aerate, plow, and more with the snap of a finger. Engineered with durability in mind, Mantis Tiller cultivators will be your guaranteed garden companion for a long time. You can find more out and details at mantis.com. Welcome back to the Gardening with Joy and Holly radio show. Happy to have you along. Want to find out more information about those sponsors you've heard and the coupon code availability? You can go to our parent website, the WisconsinVegetableGardener.com, clicking on the Money tab at the top of the page for the coupon codes and the Season 10 tab for past shows and all sponsor listings. Talk about ScrubbySoap.com.
If you're anything like me, you are a hands-on person, but that comes at a cost. And you're hands-on and your hands are dirty and not necessarily something that just regular soap can take care of. So Scrubby is a natural soap with a scrubber inside that fills the entire size of the bar. Rather than using harsh synthetic cleaning agents, they use citrus oil in their soap. So it removes dirt, grease, oil, paint, and more. Good for artists and painters, gardeners, mechanics, fishing,
kids,
all sorts of stuff. Yeah, kids. Easily removes paint, grease, oil, and grime. If you go to scrubbysoap.com and use code SOAP, you can get 10% off your order.
Time for your garden questions and our garden answers. You've got a question, submit it on over to gardentalkradio@gmail.com. That's gardentalkradio@gmail.com. Or you can give us a call toll free, coast to coast, 1-800-927-SHOW. That's 1-800-927-7469.
All right. Any recommendations on how to get rid of chiggers in the garden? We've had them the past couple of years, and it's unfortunately a huge deterrent to getting out in the garden.
Okay, chiggers are a very tiny, almost unseen bug that will bite
And they do live in the grass. And I think they're related to mites, or like a mite type of bug. So to get rid of them, you want to focus on reducing shade and moisture, and then you want to mow the grass frequently, removing weeds, clear leaf litter, and trimming overgrown shrubs. There is natural treatments like sulfur powder or diatomaceous earth to infested areas to keep the lawn tidy, to remove their little hosts, their little homes.
I would treat the whole yard. It says, we say in the infected areas, I wouldn't just lay down and go, okay, this is an affected area, let's treat it. I would just go ahead and treat everything.
Right. And I mean, obviously, like, you don't want to reach.
And you don't know you've got a chigger bite until like 2 days later.
Yeah, and it itches so much. It happened to me. I remember like a couple of years ago, and at first I thought it was a mosquito bite, but it just itched all the time. And they're just like these teeny tiny little bumps.
Yeah, and there is some home remedies on how to treat those itches, but we won't get into that.
Anyway, so as we mentioned, getting rid of shade. Now, obviously, don't go cutting down large shade trees,
right?
But just anything that you can do to
yard trash.
Yeah, yard trash, basically.
All right. How important is crop rotation in raised beds or backyard gardens? I started gardening my journey last year and plan my beds for this year based on companion planting, but now I read about the need to rotate the crops. I don't know. I can make what I want work. Is there a way to treat the soil or avoid rotations at all?
I mean,
it's really for big ag.
Yeah.
If you don't have a diseased problem, like we've talked about in the program, tomato hornworm, if you don't have that problem, you can grow tomatoes in the same spot for like 2 or 3 years. If you have that problem, then you want to disturb that soil. But the rotation, obviously, if you're in a 4x4 bed, it's hard to rotate 12 items in a square foot gardening. If you're in a 100 square foot backyard, it's hard to rotate because you're wanting this. It is not a requirement. If you don't do it, it's not going to be detrimental. However, if there are problems in the north portion of the garden and no problems in the south portion of the garden, move those crops in the opposite direction for a year or two, and then you can always top dress it with more compost tea, weed tea. There's things in which we can add to our soil to feed the soil and help the plants grow. But yes, if you go and extend, like you're growing tomatoes for that 9th year in this spot, yeah, they're going to do poorly because they've sucked everything out no matter what you're continually put back in.
Right. Yeah. You just make sure that you are keeping that soil fed, and that's going to make a huge difference.
Mulch.
And mulch, irrigation, all of that. All right. So the next question is, does asparagus grow better in raised bed or directly in the ground? I'd like to start an asparagus bed, but I know very little about the plants. I think you have to spread the roots out and plant deep. What is the best time to plant? What else should I know? So asparagus is a perennial vegetable, which means it comes back every year.
I know people that have had it for 50 plus years in the same area.
People buy homes and then they discover that they have homegrown asparagus in their backyard. So I would not recommend it in a raised bed. No. This is something that you want to put in the ground. You want to put it, I don't want to say off to the side, but you don't want to put
out of regular asset.
A lot of people find them like along their fence lines when they buy their homes and don't realize there was an asparagus bed there.
A block over in the corner where there's going to be some maintenance required, but it's not going to be, it's directly, you're always walking around it.
Right. And then, yes, you do want to plant them deep. And you also want to spread the roots out. The roots are like stringy, kind of.
Like a spider.
Like a spider, yeah. And so you want to, when you plant them, you want to take care to, because those are what grows more asparagus, because the roots establish and then they shoot stuff up. So you want to shoot the plant up. So, and that's how the asparagus grows over time, or should grow over time. And
based on the year of root it is, you can start asparagus from seed. It takes 5 years to get something to harvest. You can get 1 year roots, 2 year roots, and then that shortens that time frame from harvest. Now, it's not a guarantee that you plant these the way it's supposed to be and everything's wonderful. We planted some several years ago, and it's a hit and miss for us. And we did everything right.
Yeah, ours is.
And it was the second planting.
Ours produces like three.
Right.
Asparagus
Now we've
a year.
got 10 plants, and I think there's like 9 or 8 or they're still producing, but they produce very minimum. So we did everything right, and maybe it was the variety. And that was the second planting of those. We had bought some from an independent garden center locally and put them in the ground at the appropriate time and waited a whole month, and nothing happened. So I went and started digging them up, and out of the 10 plants we had, I think 3 actually sprouted. So you called that garden center and said, told them the story, and they're like, oh, just wait some more time. And we don't like doing this, but we pulled that card, and you said, ma'am, I have a national garden radio show. I know what I'm talking about. Okay, well, bring him in. We'll get your money back for him.
Right, exactly.
We don't like doing that.
No, not at all. So anyway.
But she had no interest in working with us because we were just some dumb people that didn't know how to grow asparagus.
Right. So anyway, So the next question here is, what size beds do you find are most comfortable but productive?
Queen size.
I like a king size. I like a king size bed. I like to spread it. Have
you knew that was coming.
I know. I was just thinking to myself, that's kind of funny. So for any sort of garden bed, whether it be you're making space in the ground or you're building a raised bed, it doesn't matter the length of the bed, but the width you want to keep about 4 feet maximum. That way you can reach across safely. You can reach to the middle and easily. And if you feel like, 3 feet makes more sense to me, I have short arms, then that's an option as well, but no more than 4 feet wide. And
if you're going, I got an in-ground garden. How do I make that kind of bed? I just walk every distinct walk paths, permanent grow areas. You don't have to have a physical piece of material dividing the areas. You can simply go, okay, my walk path is going to be 2 foot wide. I'll put wood chips down, or I'll just pack that down walking back and forth.
Right. And if maybe you have family members or pets or whatever. I mean, obviously pets kind of do whatever they want, but family members, little kids, and you do want to have an established walking area, then do put some wood chips down or something that will show that this is a walk path and this is a garden area. And this will actually help your productivity in your garden so much because you're not compacting that soil and causing issues to the plants, the roots, the soil itself.
Now, in that situation, there may be some compaction deal there whenever you're harvesting like potatoes or Jerusalem artichokes or planting, but nothing compared to what it would have been if you didn't have that area roped off, so to speak, and it's designed for less compaction for the growing area. Has anyone ever put eggs under their tomato plant and noticed a difference? I'm assuming egg shells.
That difference is in your head.
Yeah. Egg shells do compost extremely slowly. In the compost pile, if you just wad it up, throw in the compost, it takes years. Now, people will go down the road, well, I grind it up into a powder, and then I mix it in the soil. Fine, good, yes. Smaller particles do break up quicker and break down quicker to allow plants to utilize whatever available nutrients is in that particular item. However, eggshells have very little nutrients, mostly calcium. That's what they're made up of. And most soils in North America have plenty of calcium unless your soil has been tested to show a calcium deficiency. Adding more will not help the plant grow. We've talked about adding, people want to add Tums, calcium. You want to add eggshells, calcium. These are so minute, and the quantities of the individual item, eggshell or Tum, you have to multiply by multiple times in order to get even a reasonable amount of material in the soil for that plant to take up. When it doesn't need anything anyway, you just need to water. It's a watering issue, not a deficiency issue. And you got to go to reputable sources online to find this out where, this person has done scientific studies. This university has scientific studies to show that it doesn't have any beneficial benefit to it. Now, true enough, throwing the eggshell in the compost pile or throwing it in the garden is much more beneficial than throwing it in the trash and going to the landfill. Yes, but expecting something that doesn't scientifically exist doesn't help the advancement of the gardening community by continually repeating this wrong information.
Exactly. Yeah, that's absolutely true. So
I want to transplant some rhubarb. I read I must wait until next year to harvest the transplants. My question is whether or not I can harvest from the main plant this year.
Yeah, so you can harvest from the main plants, an established rhubarb plant this year. You just can't take too much. So you want to take less than half of whatever the plant is. And they do take a year to establish the new transplants, but the parent plant should be robust enough to handle a light, cautious harvest. So I probably wouldn't take more than like a third.
Right. In the spring, you want to feed your rhubarb plant. Now, we've grown rhubarb in a container, 2 containers for going on 10 years now. Now, we haven't divided it like we're supposed to, but it has sustained itself. So if you're in, and rhubarb in the ground will last 12, 15, 20 years if maintained properly. These are smaller plants because they're in a container. So if you are wanting to grow rhubarb and they were started from seed and you don't want to have that excessive plant taking over the area, you can do it in a container, an 18, 25, 30-gallon moving tote Rubbermaid container. Put drainage holes in it, fill it up, maintain it, and it's going to do just fine in your garden. Hang out with us. When we return, you're going to have opportunities for more of your garden questions and more of our garden answers. You're tuned in to the Gardening with Joey and Holly radio show.
Have a garden question? Give Joey and Holly a call now or anytime 24/7. Just dial 1-800-927-SHOW. If you can't get through, leave a message and they will call you back. Call now 1-800-927-SHOW.
Goodbye, biting bugs and plant invaders. No More Bugs by Naturally Green Products is your answer. No More Bugs is DEET-free and not sticky on your skin. USDA certified, No More Bugs has been a favorite by consumers across the country for over 14 years. More than a repellent, it is safe for you, your plants, pets, and home. Available online at nomorebugs.net, Amazon, Walmart.com, and the Home Shopping Network.
Ever feel like you have to cover up just to enjoy your backyard? If you're tired of swatting mosquitoes while you're trying to relax or work in the garden, there's a smarter approach. BioGent's mosquito traps use proven attractants designed to specifically target mosquitoes, helping reduce bites around the yard all season long. They're tough on mosquitoes and don't harm bees and butterflies, so you can protect yourself and still protect your pollinators. Rethink mosquito control. Take a look at biogents.com. That's BIOGENTS.com. Check out ivorganics.com. It's America's leading garden product YouTube channel. IV Organic products are innovative, organic, effective, and proudly USA made to help you achieve your best growing season. Use coupon code RADIO10 at checkout and save 10% on your entire order at ivorganics.com. That coupon code again is RADIO10 to save 10% on your order at ivorganics.com. Visit JankoGreenhouse.com to improve your garden today. Janko builds the strongest greenhouses on the market, large and small, guaranteed to meet or exceed your building codes, offering a lifetime warranty since 1948. Visit JankoGreenhouse.com.
Transform your exterior wood surfaces with Rubio Monocoat's new DuraGrit. DuraGrit delivers rugged protection and rich color for decks, siding, pergolas, planter boxes, and all outside wood surfaces. Say goodbye to multiple coats thanks to DuraGrit's incredible patented one-layer technology. Enjoy a vibrant, durable color that won't peel or flake even in the harshest conditions. Rubio Monocoat DuraGrit is tomorrow's UV protection for exterior wood. For every order, Rubio Monocoat USA will plant a tree at a U.S. planting site. Get 10% off DuraGrit when using code Joey at checkout. Learn more at RubioMonocoatUSA.com.
Soon it'll be warming up, and you will want to make sure you enjoy your yard without sharing it with those beetles and grubs.
With spring just around the corner, it's time to start thinking about controlling beetles and grubs in your garden or yard.
Grub Gun can be applied directly to the turf or garden and around ornamentals to control the grubs to lessen the impact the beetles have on your yard this summer. Easy to use. Apply with a commercial spreader and irrigate it right into the soil. Biological that specifically targets grubs and beetles, invaders, without harming those beneficial insects such as bees, butterflies, and ladybugs.
And to be honest, it's the only non-chemical that works. Find out more at beetlegone.com.
MyRootmaker.com has the tools to start your plants off right and keep them growing through harvest. From their seed starting trays with an innovative design that air prunes the roots to their large variety of grow bags, 1 to 60 gallons. Get the harvest you've never seen before. Visit MyRootmaker.com and use coupon code RADIO26 to save 10% off your order at MyRootmaker.com. You've upgraded your tools, your plants, even your soil. Why not upgrade the way you control mosquitoes? Instead of spraying chemicals that harm bees, butterflies, and pets, choose a smarter science-based approach. Biogen's mosquito traps uses proven attractants to target mosquitoes without fogging your yard or harming pollinators. It's precision control for gardeners who care about the environment. Rethink mosquito control. Learn more at biogens.com. That's BIOGENTS.com. Welcome back to the Gardening with Joe and Holly radio show. Happy to have you along. Want more information about the coupon codes and the sponsored listings? Our parent website houses all of that under the Money tab for the coupon codes and the Season 10 tab for all listings of companies that support the program and past shows. If you got a question, it's time for your garden questions and our garden answers. You want to send it over, gardentalkradio@gmail.com, or you can give us a call toll free anytime at 1-800-927-SHOW. That's 1-800-927-7469. Best way to grow radishes and eggplants.
So radishes, you just want to, those are a cool weather crop, and you can just plant those directly into the soil. You don't want to and absolutely do not need to transplant those. They usually grow within about 30 days.
Don't buy these at the garden center.
Yeah, don't buy the seedlings. Just buy the seeds. And yeah, you want to do those as soon as the soil can be worked, basically.
Yeah, and as long as you don't see any really cold snaps, because they'll handle some cold, but if it's going to freeze, freeze and snow, you want to hold off on that. To grow eggplants, one, you can either just buy it at the garden center already pre-established and transplant it, or you want to start those about the same time you start your tomatoes, about 6 to 8 weeks before your last average frost date. And, we think of eggplant, we think of purple, but there are orange eggplants, there are white eggplants, there are what they call Japanese eggplants. It looks like a giant cucumber that curls, not just
it's like purplish and white.
Yes,
I think, yeah,
just not the sphere or the oblong looking eggplant that we're familiar with commercially in the grocery store. Eggplants, we find you cut them relatively half-inch thick, pan fry them with butter and a little salt and pepper, really, really good. And people will make eggplant parmesan with them and several other dishes. All right, next question.
Last year was bad for tomatoes. I had these little worms that get inside the fruit. Anything I can do now? So that sounds like tomato fruit worms.
Yeah.
And they do grow in the soil, or they...
The pupils.
The pupils, yeah. Grow in the soil. And this can happen over winter. So
in the north, you don't have to worry so much about it. In the southern portions of the United States, it doesn't get cold enough to kill them. Now, what you can do is disturb the soil as soon as the soil can be worked if you're in an area where this is a prolific problem for you, or do it early enough so it will disrupt those larvae, and you want to plant your tomatoes in a different location from the previous year and make sure that's far enough away that they can't get to it. They'll harbor in the 2 to 5 inches deep. So, however you want to spade that, you want to till that, whatever you want to do. Tomato hornworm is the same process of preventional mechanism is disturbing the soil as soon as it can be worked in the spring weeks prior to planting the tomatoes, and that will eliminate about 90% of your tomato hornworm issues. Also, feeding the birds, keeping bird feeders active in your garden does make a tremendous difference as well.
Right. So the next question is do you water your garden in the morning or evening? What works best? Now, I want to preface this by saying if you can only water your garden one time a day, water at that time of day.
Right.
No matter what. Just do it.
Morning is best. So there's no possibility. If we're manually watering in the morning is best so the leaves have an opportunity to dry off. But if it rains in the evening or overnight, the leaves are wet anyway. So again, water when you can. Having an irrigation system is an amazing piece of technology and allows your plants to grow. When they have a lot of moisture, we have a drip system from dripworks.com that runs 3 times a day, 8 a.m., noon, and 5 p.m. for 20 minutes at a time. They have drip emitters that emit just a small amount of water, and once you get the soil primed, that water, and it's under mulch, these plants do a phenomenal job in growing whenever they're not stressed for water. With the watering in a municipality, you're going to pay so much regardless of how much water you use up to a certain point. I'm picking numbers, 0 to 1,200 gallons. You're going to pay a flat rate. Once you get it beyond a certain tier, then that's what it's going to be. But these are so efficient. And then they also have irrigation systems for container gardens as well on your patio, porch, or deck. So if you can water it, you want to keep the soil damp, not wet, not soaking. And if it is going to rain that day, they have mechanisms, they have different devices where you can Wi-Fi it off or not run it for a couple of days.
All right. Onion seed help. My onion seeds have germinated, but they are stuck in this loop of not growing upright. They've been like this for days. I keep my soil moist, but not soggy, and I have my lights within 2 to 4 inches of the seedlings, as well as a fan on daily. Will this resolve, or is there something else I should do? Thank you.
So the seeds are coming out of the seed coat and growing, and it's kind of an arch. The tip is still stuck in the seed coat to halfway up the stem.
That's pretty normal.
Yeah, it's normal. So you can assist it, but really within a week they're going to pop up, and you don't need to do anything. You want to allow the plant to do what it needs to do. You don't really want to assist it a whole lot because you're going to weaken the plant. You want it to be resilient. You want it to take care of itself. So worry about something else for a while. You'll be fine.
Go do a different hobby. Or something. Yeah.
When planting seeds indoors, does that mean 6 to 10 weeks before the last frost date, or 6 to 10 weeks before you plan to put them outside, since the actual put them in the ground date is several weeks after that last frost date?
You want to stick with the frost date. So I know it doesn't maybe not necessarily make sense. Like, for example, where we are in the world, our last average frost date is like mid-April, but there's many things we're not going to put.
We're going to wait a whole month.
Yeah, until like end of May, mid to end of May. But the frost date is based on how long the plant takes to germinate and then mature to a certain point, where if you were to plant outside after that frost date, that it would do well enough to grow. Now, obviously, there's exceptions like tomato plants. Those are a tropical plant. So if you live in a climate like ours, if you put it in the day after the last frost date, those tomatoes might not do so well. But this is to ensure that it has enough time for the plant to germinate, become established, and then at that point, it's going to be a large enough seedling or a healthy enough seedling so that once you do finally put them outside, it can sustain itself and have its vitality.
How do I get rid of gnats in my house? Houseplants. Gnats in the house and in the house and in the house.
That's a good question. So a lot of times those fungus gnats, or I think that's
soil gnats,
whatever you want to call them. They do live in the soil, or you could have something else in your home, and you might think it's coming from your houseplants.
Like a banana, or orange going bad, an apple rotting, yeah.
Yeah, this has happened to us. We had found like an old orange
in a paper bag on the ground.
Yeah,
and it had a community.
Yeah. And it was like part of some potatoes I bought, and it was just like hanging out there with the potatoes.
There was more gnats in that bag than some individuals in states. Yeah.
Right. So just make sure that you do, investigate the rest of your home as well. But you can do a few different things to help get rid of those. One thing is to make sure that you
you can use mosquito bits
mosquito
from Summit Chemicals or Summit Responsible Solutions, and you soak them in water, and then you soak the area with the water. You soak them for 24 hours, and then you use that water to water your plants, and it will eliminate those gnats. And then that will kill the females and the babies. The males live 18 days. The best for them is to put the sticky traps around, the yellow ones with the sticky traps after the time they fly into them and you're good and they're stuck. So treating the plants will keep the gnats from coming back. So you can also do a homemade remedy, which is apple cider vinegar, a couple of drops of soap.
Just soap.
And what is it, water?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's other traps.
A vacuum works really well.
Yeah, vacuum. There's other traps you can get in the market now that you plug in, and they use like UV light. There's again the sticky traps.
Oh, it's the pretty light. They don't make
them.
They don't zap them, but it would be fun if it did.
Yeah. So you do have different options now. I think the biggest thing is to make sure you find the source, because that will make a difference every time.
Well, with that being said, we are out of time, and we thank you for yours. Miss any portion of the program today or would like to revisit it, you can certainly do such by going to our parent website, thewisconsinvegetablegardener.com, and clicking on the Season 10 tab at the top of the page. Tune in the program next week where we'll be discussing Mulch is Your Friend, and we will go over several very beneficial mulches that you have for free or are easily to obtain, as well as the world of honey. Our guest is YouTuber and social media expert Jill Mashiki will be with us and will answer your garden questions. So until next week, for
Holly Baird,
I'm Joy Baird, and we will see you in the garden.